All right, so I was just absolutely blown away that this is something that, as much as I dislike Gretchen Whitmer, even though I don't live in Michigan, she's kind of a nationwide figure now because of her ongoing coronavirus restrictions that she lets her husband break, and her child that's celebrating her graduation. Anyway, so I actually agree with this right here. This is pretty amazing, and I think it should have been part of the whole thing with that. What do you got? The criminal justice reform with President Trump and all of these idiot freaking Brexit people. Anyway, Governor Gretchen Whitmer signs bill expanding criminal record expungement, and this is the Detroit Free Press, Angie Jackson. Okay, so it says Gretchen Whitmer signed legislation Monday that will automatically clear certain criminal convictions from the public view in Michigan, while also making more people eligible for expungement through the application process. During a news conference with Whitmer in Detroit, lawmakers and advocates held up Michigan as a national leader in expungement reform. The automatic record-clearing legislation is the most expansive version of the law in the country, said John Cooper, executive director of Safe and Just Michigan, one of the organizations that advocated for the bills. Whitmer called it a historic day for Michigan. All right, it said these bipartisan bills are going to be a game changer, she said. They would ensure a clean slate for hundreds of thousands of people, and they will help us grow our workforce and expand access to education and skills training. Bipartisan is the key word here. I think everyone can get behind this, because let's be fair here. If a person is doing dirt, or doing something and breaking the law, I think it says, we're going to read down a little further, 7 years for a misdemeanor, certain misdemeanors that can be cleared, and 10 years for felonies. You don't get away with constantly committing misdemeanors and constantly committing felonies. Obviously, if this person hasn't done anything since then, there's a good chance that this person is trying to further their lives. So at least make it where this person can't. I think certain nursing and stuff like that, you actually can't hold some of those jobs if you have a record. So this person people in this state now that have that can actually go and become different things that they never thought they could become. Let's not say for 1 second that a person can't do that. It happens all the time that people want to get on with their lives and say, okay, well, I'm done. I was messing up back then. This should have been part of that criminal justice reform right here. And it's automatic. This isn't something that you actually have to sit back and go and fill out something and wait. And this is automatic. So here we go. State Rep Graham Filler, a DeWitt Republican who chairs the House Judiciary Committee and joined announcing the bipartisan bills in Detroit last fall, said the reform would directly increase public safety. You're in the community, you're invested in the community, you're spending time with your family, you're working, you're accessing housing. We have less recidivism, less victims. This is what happens when you access expungement. For many crime survivors, the important thing is what happened to us. This is a crime survivor that's saying this. We don't want it to happen again to anyone. That's why Thomas, a survivor of gun violence, told the Free Press. Thomas is managing director of Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice in National Network, and with chapters in Michigan. All right, so in passing reforms like the Clean Slate Bill, when the people are able to get access to a job, people are able to get access to education, people are able to access employment, and it actually increases public safety. Coalition of groups. I'm trying to get down to, it says only 6.5 people who qualify for expungement in Michigan have their records cleared within 5 years of becoming eligible, according to a study out of University of Michigan Law School. The study found that the people who get their records expunged see higher earnings and low recidivism rates. I don't really see how there needed to be a study on that, because the thing is, like I said, if suddenly you have a clean record after 7 years after you've done done what a misdemeanor or 10 years with a felony, you're obviously on the straight and narrow. You're not getting away with a whole bunch of crap for 7 and 10 years. It's not happening. It says, see, and this person says, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, this is bigger than criminal justice reform. This person is exactly right. Yvonne Hansen, 58, hopes the opportunity for expungement will end a chapter of her life that has been marred by stigma. The new Boston resident recently got a job at Chrysler, but she works odd jobs over the last 12 years because of because other steady employers wouldn't look past her 2 convictions for a felonious assault. And I can tell you this: I beg the Christians to say, you committed the crime. Hey, that's what happens when you commit the crime. 15 years ago, that has that Christ compassion. Hassan said 2 friends of her daughter alleged that she swerved her vehicle at them 16 years ago. She said no one was injured. Hassan maintained her innocence, but was convicted in a bench trial and sentenced to probation. I've lost a lot, and my kids have suffered, unfortunately, and lost a lot during that time. She said, I at least have hope now. That is huge. That's huge for me, because living without hope is not living. Anyway, it says what this legislation does. The state follows Pennsylvania, Utah, and California, of all people. California. Hey, Pennsylvania and Utah is doing it and adopting an automated system to wipe clean certain convictions from public records after a period of time. Michigan's law will apply retroactively and is the first to automatically clear prior low-level felonies. Under the automatic record clearing law, misdemeanors will be expunged 7 years after sentencing. Felonies will be cleared 10 years after sentencing or the person's released from incarceration, whichever comes first. Up to 2 felonies and 4 misdemeanors can be automatically cleared. This should have been part of criminal justice reform. I'm going to link this article. I just think this is pretty amazing, and I will say this: I don't think this should be a reason to vote Whitmer. That's for sure, and because her coronavirus response has basically ruled out any hope that I would ever, if I was a person in Michigan, I would just not do that. I would never vote. I would never vote for this person. Now, and it's mainly because of that. But I will say this: should have been part of the national criminal justice reform. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. All right.